Okay, you need to make sure with a putting robot that the putter can move freely without hitting the track here. Oftentimes students make a mistake in this part where they connect the 10-hole frames all the way at the end to the wheel. They don't leave one hole spaced away. So catch this early if you can. Check and see if they're attaching the 10-hole frames correctly on the very first step to the wheel. It's going to affect whether this robot works or doesn't work. So here's the putting robot. One thing that happens with the design is that these 10-hole frames might come in towards each other and make for a bad track. A simple fix that I found can work, although it's complicated sometimes for kids to pull off, is to move everything one space forward so you're actually putting a bolt through both 10-hole frames through this supporter here and here. So I've actually got the 10-hole frame from the hole side overlapping the 10-hole frame from the back side, and I've put a bolt through both. And that gives it a nice straight track to follow. Okay, with the putting robot, important things to be aware of. If students are moving slowly, if you notice that they're not building the wheel part very quickly, you can tell them to skip the section that involves building the hole and just go right on to building the platform. That's important. Once they get the motor attached to the platform, they basically got a working robot. The rest of it is just extra. They can go back and finish that later. The important thing really is to get this motor attached. Everything else you can worry about afterwards. Okay, attaching the motor is an important part of this building process. You need the motor to be attached with the cable on the same side as the main board. If I had this motor flipped around, I wouldn't have enough length of cable or wire to plug the motor into the main board. So while you're watching them build, check to be sure they're attaching the motor correctly. Okay, this wire has to come off from this side. Now, okay, once the kids have had enough fun playing with their robot putting into the hole, you can have them reverse the direction of the motor and then putt that way. You can play games with how far the ball goes, how accurate the ball goes. They can attach something here that'll give it a different way of moving. It could even make it try and go right or left. But putting off the backside opens up lots of activities that you can do, extensions.